Welcome to NKTelco Sports, presented by Grand Lake Health. We are here at Minster School to bring you high school girls basketball where Fort Loramie Redskins take on the Minster Wildcats. Tonight's game is brought to you by these sponsors: American Trim, First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Winners Meats, NKTelco, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, Minster Bank, Fly Gem, Precision Strip, Schwederman Pharmacy, New Knoxville Supply, and Ferguson Construction. Our fine sponsors here as we open off our basketball coverage here on NKTelco Sports. Along with Greg Burney, I'm Dave Kanaka. Great matchup tonight. Fort Loramie and Minster. Fort Loramie 26-2 last year. Their first game of the season. Everyone coming back on a great team. The only difference is for them, or the trouble is, just 2 weeks ago they were playing volleyball.
Yeah, you said volleyball took out a big piece of their preparation, if you will. And of course, coming in to play a big game like this against the two-time state defending champs, tough to do, but don't feel too disappointed. They return a ton. The SEL Player of the Year and Marissa Myring, Kennedy Gephardt in the backcourt along with Taylor Rotterman. Their point guard is actually going into the paint, and Dana Rose. They've got tons of depth. They're quick. They're aggressive. They're going to be a fun team to watch. They're super deep. They're going to see, I would be shocked if you don't see 10 to 12 players off of their bench tonight and they lose nothing as they go down that bench. Very deep, very veteran squad.
The Minster Wildcats, two-time defending state champions. They opened up the season last night against Walpock, 157-53. Greg, two great guards coming back, but they lost a ton to graduation, especially on the inside.
Yeah, they lose 7 seniors off of last year's team, including Courtney Pranger, who went on to Xavier, but also Damaris Wolf, Jessica Falk, Barhorse, Pelletier, Richard, and Ernst. A great core and a really good foundation for them. Minster's really going to have to look to find help in their back, outside of their backcourt. They may have the two best guards in Hoying and Wolf in the area, but outside of that, they've really got a lot of other holes to fill, and that's really going to be a challenge, especially against Loramie here tonight.
Greg, let's roll into our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First, we'll start with the Loramie Redskins.
Yeah, so for Fort Loramie, they know that they're going against two great guards, so they got to limit penetration, keep Minster out of that painted area with their guards. They also want to control the tempo. They are deep. We mentioned that. They're going to press. They want to get up and down and use that depth to their best potential. And then dominate the paint. They've got good size in the paint, in the posted area. They're going to want to feed the ball in there a lot. And Minster does not have that, so it's going to be a big key for them. On the other side, Minster, perimeter shooting. They're little. They got to shoot the ball. They need to get some sort of presence inside and, of course, handle the turnovers.
Yeah, those are keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. As we tip it off, Fort Loramie controls it. Our starting lineup from Fort Loramie: Caitlin Gasson, Kennedy Gephardt, Ava Schultes, Dana Rose, and Marissa Myring. As they try to lob it down to Myring, stolen away by Mara Schmeezing. Schmeezing gives it up to Avery Wolf. The other starters are Ivy Wolf, Janae Hoying, and also Ella Mesher.
Yeah, we're going to see, sorry Dave, we're going to see two of the more aggressive teams, especially playing man-to-man, that we'll see here in the area. But there's the penetration we talked about as Wolf misses the runner.
Rebound, Loramie. Let's kick it out to Gephardt. Fort Loramie 26-2. Regional runners up last year as they lost to Minster in the regional finals, and there's another steal. Wolf with the ball wide open for the tray and in. Ivy Wolf with the steal and the tray.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see from Minster. Their guards obviously affecting this game already, and they're going to need to knock down those outside shots. Good start for them.
Rose three-pointer is off the mark. Rebound to the Wildcats. Hoying gives it up to Wolf. Ivy kicks it to Ella Mesher, the sophomore, with the start tonight. 3 by Hoying, 2 strong. Rebound Loramie. Caitlin Gasson running the point tonight. She's a little bit out of control, but draws the foul. And the junior Caitlin Gasson will shoot 2.
That foul's going to be on number 5, Avery Wolf, her first.
Gasson last year came off the bench a lot and then ran the point. Right now she's getting this start as point guard. Dana Rose ran the point a lot in the starting lineup as Gasson missed the first.
I think one thing you can tell right out of the gate here, Minster's played a game already. And that first game makes a big difference. You scrimmage, you go through all that stuff, but until you get to live action, it's a little tough as Loramie gets on the board with their first point. But this first quarter for Loramie, I think especially, you're going to see some rust shooting the ball especially.
Ball stolen away. Shoulders to the hoop. Stops, pops, and in. They did a nice job of stopping there and let the defenders go by for the basket. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, we mentioned the defensive pressure. Pretty much all these points, both teams, a lot of turnovers here already because the pressure on the ball has been very intense.
Myring ties up Avery Wolf. Alternate possession gives it to the Wildcats. Two great coaches here. Mike Wiss from Minster, 79-7 in his 4th year, 2 state titles to his record. And then Carlos Siegel, 21st year, 411 wins against only 117 losses. And that is bad pass, and it goes out of bounds. Turn it over to the Loramie Redskins.
Yeah, knocked off of Ivy Wolf's knee and shot out of bounds.
Gasson looks back to Coach Siegel, working against Morris Measing. On the wing, it's Rose. Now Gephardt, backdoor play, Shoulders and in.
There's that inside presence we talked about. Shoulders off to a great start. Has 4 points now for Loramie.
Wolf gives it on the wing to Smeezing. Underneath, Mesher swatted away. Rebound to the Wildcats, and Ivy Wolf will shoot 2. Mesher with a pretty strong move. Wolf with the rebound. Wolf coming off a 19-point game last night against Walpock will shoot 2.
Foul was on Ava Schultes, her first.
Wolf hits his first one. Kenzie Holscher into the game. Dana Prenger and also Kate Larger in for the Wildcats. Holscher, of course, the dominant player on the volleyball court. Quite a player to bring in off the bench for Fort Loramie as Wolf makes both of them.
Definitely with some depth there as we talked about. Holscher, a nice asset to pull in off of your bench.
And it was stolen away by Smeezing. Boeing dribbles through some traffic as they set up. Total 5-5 on our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank, think first. Kate Larger gives it up to Morris Smeezing. Hoing on the wing. Prenger wants it underneath. Working against Holscher. Too strong off the glass. Rebound to Gephardt. She almost traveled but gave it up. Gephardt gets it back. Now halfway through this first quarter. Holscher's a pretty good ball handler now with the ball on the point. A lot of good ball handlers on this team as they try to go to Holscher, knocked away. It will stay with Fort Loramie.
And interesting to see that play there. We watched the JV game and Loramie ran that exact same high ball screen out top for the curl underneath. Good help defense there by Loramie, or by Minster to catch it and knock the ball out of bounds.
Into the game for Fort Loramie, number 10, Colleen Brandewie, a sophomore off the bench. Also, Ella Mesher returns for Minster. Turnaround off the mark by Scholas. Rebound by Mesher.
It's been a lot of Ava Schultes here for Loramie early on.
Nice drive by Ivy Wolf. She will draw the foul and shoot 2.
The last 3 possessions in a row, Loramie really trying to use that inside presence, and Ava Schultes in particular, been very effective. Tough shot for her the last time there, but I think they're not going to hold back on that. They'll continue to pound the ball in the paint.
Ivy Wolf, the MAC Player of the Year last year, is just a sophomore. It's the first is Marissa Myring, Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year last year. A lot of talent on the floor here tonight between these two teams. Wolf now with all 7 points for Minster. Gasson to the hoop, draws the foul. Caitlin will shoot 2.
Foul was on Dana Prenger, her first.
Gasson hits the first. She makes the second one. Corinne Heitkamp will take her place. Fellow junior. Coach Siegel has one of those problems a lot of coaches have. She has so many good players. It's who you put in.
Yeah. Well, I think the good thing for Loramie is she'll use a lot of them. She keeps subbing bodies in. Here's a little bit of that full court pressure. I think it'll continue to grow as the game goes on. Loramie typically will start out a little bit picking up, and then as the game rolls, kind of go to a three-quarter court press and mix some different defenses in.
Shot at the wing by Larger. Battle for the rebound. We're tied up. All in possession. We'll give it to the Redskins. Oh.
And I think you'll see a little less of that pressure because it's Minster. Well, they're going to say it's with Minster yet, even though the arrow is facing.
Yeah. They're now the scores table fixes it.
What I was going to say, I think you'll see a little bit of, maybe I don't want to say conservative approach, but a little less of that approach against Minster because they have such good ball handlers.
Yep.
They're really tough to trap, but I think Loramie will still give a fair share of it as the ball game moves on.
Heitkamp now running the point, gives it to Brandaway to Rose. 3:45 to go here, first quarter. Glad you're joining us here for our basketball opener. What a great matchup. Minster and Fort Loramie, a rematch of the last two regional finals. Both of them won by Minster on their way to winning the state championship.
Boy, defensively, both these teams doing a great job. A nice move by Holscher, but really having to fight to get to the bucket for scores.
Holscher gives the Redskins a 2-point lead. Ivy Wolf scored all the Wildcats points so far. Hoying on the wing, looking probably be the second leading scorer this year behind Wolf, and that ball goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Redskins. Schmeezing and Avery Wolf back in the game. For the Wildcats. Shoulders will give it up. Holscher. Holscher, 6-footer. Handle the ball with the best of them. Shoulders gives it to Myring. At the elbow. Rolls it in. Marissa Myring, her first 2 points.
And she had all kinds of time there to decide to take that shot. The SEL Player of the Year last year.
Entry pass to Mesher. Not able to get it over Holscher. Redskins trying to run a little bit, but Minster back. A long 2-pointer by Holscher. Myring with the rebound. Can't get the follow to fall. Pranger with the rebound. Sneezing to Mesher. Blocked out of bounds.
You see that height we talked about inside. Minster's done a nice job trying to get Ella Mesher in the paint, tried to get large in a little bit before. Loramie's just very disciplined and very good defensively, not giving up anything in the painted area.
And tall and long, too.
That's right. That doesn't hurt either.
Especially Holscher, 6 foot and a lot longer arms than that. Lauren Mox, number 32 in the lineup for Minster. Wolf to Schmeezy. Schmeezy missed all of last year with a shoulder injury. Back for her senior campaign. Shot up by Wolf. In and out. There's Holscher with another rebound. Outlet pass up ahead to Gephardt. Against Hoying, drives. Ball bounces around Schmeezy on the floor, but we will have a jump ball. This time we'll go to Minster. In the game for Fort Loramie, Jaden Putoff, another junior on this team. 4 seniors on this Fort Loramie team, a whole bunch of juniors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them.
And as you mentioned before, a lot of these girls coming from volleyball. Putoff played quite a bit of volleyball along with Schultes and Holscher. Not that they don't have a lot of depth in other positions, but it still slows your team down. And Minster went through a lot of the same types of things, but Loramie played all the way up to the state final, so a little tougher to get back into the routine as Minster turns it over.
I think Coach Siegel told us 7 of their top 13 players are on that volleyball team. Had a great season, finished state runners-up to New Bremen, a great battle, great season for the Lady Redskins, and expecting big things on the basketball court as well. Holscher will drive, pull up, too strong. Rebound. There's Putoff is wide open in and off the rim. Third chance now coming up here for Fort Loramie. Gasson resets it. Under a minute to go here, first quarter. Gephardt gives it up to Holscher. Holscher trying to drive on Avery Wolf. Pulls it back. Reset the offense. Gephardt on the wing. Try to get it back to Holscher, knocked away.
Yeah, good help defense there by Minster to create the turnover.
Hoying, left-hander in, Janae Hoying.
Nifty little runner there, Janae Hoying, a bucket that the Wildcats badly needed. Hard to believe they're just down 2 as Loramie has really felt like they've dominated the last part of this first quarter.
And there's a 5-second count as Gephardt didn't realize how quickly those 5 seconds went by. And I think, like you mentioned before, Greg, you see a lot of the first game bugs are trying to work out, and the shots aren't quite there either.
Yeah, Loramie definitely could tell hasn't had, like you said, that first game experience, getting in the flow of their shots, because they're getting good looks, just getting in the offense. Last time down, Holscher calling for the ball, and it just coming a little bit late.
6 seconds to go. Larger in the corner, tries to give it up, stolen away. Thrown up there by Rotterman, almost in. We played 1 quarter of basketball on our basketball opener on our First National Bank scoreboard. Fort Loramie 11, Minster 9. We'll be right back.
At Joint Township District Memorial Hospital, your comfort and care is our #1 priority. Our surgical nerve blocks are a great way to reduce pain and can be used for arm, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, and foot surgeries. The nerve blocks decrease the stress of surgery on your body, requires less anesthesia and pain medications, and in many cases can offer relief for several days. Visit grandlakehealth.org for details on all of our services.
American Trim's story started in 1951, and our long family legacy continues today. We are a third-generation family-owned business with locations in Sydney and Walpole, and we're hiring for manufacturing positions on first, second, and third shifts. Part-time and full-time positions are available for entry-level and skilled individuals. Please apply at www.amtrim.com or in person. American Trim is a proud sponsor of high school sports and our communities. Come be part of our story.
1 quarter in the books here. This season opener for NKTelco sports and basketball at least. Fort Loramie leads by 2.
Yeah, it was a lot of what we expected to see in that first quarter. Aggressive play, very good man-to-man defense both ways. Loramie really trying to work the ball in the paint, and Minster trying to use their guard speed, and it worked in a lot of places to get that going. What Minster really has to get back into is finding more scorers. Janae Hoying's going to score. Ivy Wolf's going to score. Who are going to be those 3rd and 4th scorers for them each night they go out and play? They're going to have to continue to work on that because Laramie's going to put up some numbers here sooner than later.
Rose misses the 3. Gasson comes up with the rebound, and she is fouled. Only the 3rd team foul on Minster so far, only 2 against Fort Loramie.
The foul was on Minster's number 12, Jenna Huker, her first.
First action here tonight. JV game tonight was won by Fort Loramie as they won by 15. Pulled away at the end, pass to Gasson, nice pass, Rose in. With the assist to Caitlin Gasson, basket, Dana Rose. Minster on the attack. Ivy Wolf on the bench here to start this 2nd quarter. She scored 7 of Minster's 9. Avery Wolf tries a 3. Rebound to Fort Loramie, trying to push the tempo a little bit. Gasson to Putoff, but there's a charge. Janae Hoying, a very good defensive player, draws a foul on Putoff.
Yeah, nice setup there by the Minster defense. That's Putoff's first foul. And that's definitely the difference in the game as far as like how Minster attacks the defense. They're a lot quicker. Their guards are everywhere. The question is, can they score against this very solid Loramie defense, because they're tall and they got a lot of length, as you mentioned before. We talked about perimeter shooting early on. They made a couple nice shots early. They're going to have to get some points in the paint as well off of layups or turnovers to hang around against this very good Loramie team.
Minster lost it a few times, but able to maintain possession. Hoying running the point right now. Hoying her 3rd year on varsity. Freshman year really just played in the tournament run on varsity. And a solid sophomore year. They try to get it down to larger, now Huker. Jenna's ball is stolen away. Wolf, you'll call it jump ball. It could have been an over and a back.
That's
there.
what I was thinking, is it kind of carried across. I wasn't sure if they deemed that not possession, because Wolf, along with a couple of Loramie players diving on the ball, as a host of substitutions come in for both groups. Looks like Mesher came back in for Minster, and also Ivy Wolf. And on the other side, Myring and Ava Schultes, and I believe number 10, is that Corinne Heitkamp?
Colleen Brandewey.
Thank you. Checking in from the Redskins.
Hoying tries to drive, almost stolen away. There's Wolf open with corner 3. Ball tipped away, back to Wolf. Dribbling through traffic, loses it. Jump ball will give it to Fort Loramie.
That play will work a lot of times this year, I think. That play being Ivy Wolf driving down through the lane between 2 or 3 people. It's going to be harder tonight. Loramie is a very good defensive team, much like Minster. They have a lot of those same traits and characteristics, and they're going to make it as hard as possible. They know who number 4 is, and they know who number 13 is on the Minster side, and know that they're really good ball handlers, and they're going to get a lot of attention.
Gasson gives it up now. Rose. Fort Loramie with a 4-point lead. Gasson to the hoop. Too strong. Rose comes up with a rebound, and we have a jump ball again. This time we'll turn it back to Minster.
Yeah, a nice drive down the lane there by Gasson. Couldn't get it to go off the glass.
For Fort Loramie, the only losses last year was a 1-point loss at West Liberty Salem, and then a 14-point loss to Minster in the regional final. Minster, their only loss all season was to Fort Loramie in double overtime during the regular season. Two teams finished number 1 and number 2 in the rankings. Fort Loramie was number 2, and there's a steal by Schultes. Pass, nice job there by Brandewey and in. She took a pass that was kind of a bad pass, ended up getting it, and dished for the assist from the basket.
Myring with her 2nd bucket of the ball game. Puts Loramie up to a 6-point lead.
Biggest lead of the night for either team. It's Avery Wolf.
They just seem to get, Loramie seems to get their hands on every possession, tipping the ball away relentlessly.
Wolf shot over the rim as Myring comes up with it. Corinne Heitkamp now gives it to Rose a little bit too high, and they turn it over. Holscher comes back into the game for Fort Loramie.
You just see the endless substitutions by Loramie.
Timeout on the floor. You're watching high school girls basketball here on NKTelco Sports.
Plygem Residential Solutions is part of Cornerstone Building Brands, North America's largest manufacturer of exterior building products, and the success of our company is directly related to the contributions of our employees. We are currently looking for machine operators, maintenance technicians, forklift operators, and more to join our growing team at our facility in Sydney, Ohio. Plygem offers competitive pay, a full benefits package, as well as opportunities for bonus pay and long-term advancement. Become a part of our strong foundation.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Welcome back to the Grand Lake Health presentation of NKTelco Sports. 4:31 to go before halftime. Fort Loramie with a 6-point lead.
Yeah, Minster taking that time out there, I'm sure, to talk about their offense because they've really struggled the last couple possessions to really get into a flow. And credit Loramie for that. They keep pushing them farther and farther away from the bucket. I'm sure Coach Wish is hoping to get back to some penetration. They were driving to the bucket earlier pretty good. They've gotten a little congested. I'm sure he's trying to tell them spread out a little bit more, be patient, but it's hard when you got 6 foot, it feels like, at every position with length and speed. Loramie does a great job defending.
Wolf gives it up to Dana Pranger. Kate Larger almost travels, gives it to Wolf. She draws a foul.
That foul's going to go against number 20, Corinne Heitkamp, her first and the team's 4th.
Army's going to switch to a zone coming out of the out-of-bounds play, and now they're going to switch it to say it's on the side. We'll see if they switch now to a man, it looks like. They all match up. Mesher will inbound it to Hoying. Minster has not scored a point in this quarter, and we're almost halfway through. Hoying tries to drive, loses her footing, tries to pass it, and turns it over.
Now that's a tough matchup. Janae Hoying is being guarded by Ava Schultes in that possession. You're giving up 4 or 5 inches there, and the length. She was around her there, but lost her footing and turned the ball over.
Loramie has a lot of their tall players, are probably some of their most athletic players in Schultes and Holscher and Rose, but there's a pass, a little miscommunication, goes out of bounds.
Yeah. And not to sell Minster's defense short, because it is very good. They're just not near as tall and long, but they make up for it in speed, there's no doubt. Loramie's just done a nice job of pushing Minster away from the bucket when they're on offense.
2 seniors back in, Gephardt and Myring in for Fort Loramie. Ivy Wolf on the wing, now guarded by Gephardt. She's had a lot of different people defending her so far.
This will be an important 3.5 minutes here. Both these teams really struggling offensively to see if anybody can get something going as we go to another jump ball. I believe that's going to give it back to the Redskins.
Good crowd here to open up the season. As girls getting some primetime action on Saturday night. And these two schools, the fans base really follow their team, and not very far to travel down 66 for the Fort Loramie fans. Shot off the mark there by Schultes. Holscher comes up with another offensive rebound. Gephardt loses it on the way to the hoop.
I know one thing, neither coach is going to like the turnover numbers at halftime because both of these teams have been a little careless with the rock here in the first half.
Wolf this time guarded by Gephardt, kicks it out to Hoying. Hoying's only got 2 points. Reverse layup off the mark. The other 7 points by Ivy Wolf. They've shot a large percentage of the shots so far. Gephardt to the hoop, left-handed layup and in. Nice move, Kennedy Gephardt.
Yeah, nice little hesitation got by the defense. And able to get an easy one there to get the Redskin lead up to 8.
Larger drives, blocked by Myrie. Mesher comes up with it. Ball battling around, Larger in some trouble. And the ball stolen by Fort Loramie.
Loramie defense swarming to the ball to create another turnover. Have a big opportunity to bump this lead up to double digits.
Lead at 8. On the wing for the 3. First 3 of the night. Goes to Corinne Heitkamp, for Fort Loramie at least.
They definitely see the difference in offenses. Loramie's got a lot more spread out. They're patient. They're not near as big a hurry. Get down here on the Minster side. The Loramie defense is really controlling the tempo and forcing Minster to get into the offense a little quicker than they want to be.
Mara Schmeezing and also Mason Pohl with her first action, number 22 for Fort Loramie. Minster has not scored this quarter. We're under 2 minutes to go. Wolf guarded by Kennedy Gephardt. In double team. Schmeezing to the hoop. Rolls off. Rebound Loramie. Outlet pass ahead. Knocked away. Put-off comes up, but then there's a foul on Minster.
And that foul's going to be against number 13, Janae Hoying. That's her first.
You talk about Fort Loramie's patient. They have nice spacing. These girls all played with each other this year. Where last year that ball would go into Courtney Pranger for Minster.
For sure.
And you had
a lot of different faces, no doubt.
Damaris Wolf, a 2-year starter, trying to work out the kinks, and Fort Loramie trying to work it out as well, but in a little bit of trouble. And again, great defense by Minster. One thing that Coach Wiss has to be happy with is the defense.
For sure. They've definitely covered a lot of area. They just haven't been able to put the ball in the hole this second quarter, as you mentioned. No score. I think we got an offensive foul there against Loramie.
Turn it the other way. Also in the game for Minster, number 21, Kyra Oldigus, her first action as well. Pole will inbound it. .115 to go before halftime. 11-point lead for Fort Loramie. Minster trying to score here in the second quarter. Swatted away. Stolen away this time by Rose. We have another jump ball. This will stay on the Minster side.
We've not been lacking in jump balls here in the first half.
No. We're on a pretty good pace. Minster coming off a win last night against Walpole, 57-53. Walpole generally a pretty good team. So second night on the floor for Minster as that is knocked out of bounds. First night, first game for Fort Loramie tonight. So Wolf will inbound it to Huker. Now to Oldigus. Wolf thought about it, will drive. Gets a lot of attention. Now Huker with the basketball. Mara Schmeezing gives it up to Wolf. Long three by Wolf is short. Rebound by Oldigus, and we have another jump ball, and Fort Loramie will get a chance at it. 30 seconds to go. Fort Loramie's been stuck on an 11-point lead for a long time as well.
Yeah, both of these offenses, as we talked about, we knew they would struggle a little bit coming out of the gate. Minster, as you mentioned, really struggled here in the second quarter. You got to credit the Loramie defense with that, as they made every shot very difficult here in the second for the Wildcats.
Ball goes out of bounds. As Gasson leaves a good defense by Schmeezing, and Minster have an opportunity with 10 seconds to go before half. Boeing will check in. Also, Avery Wolf in the lineup.
A big possession here for Minster. I mean, nothing else, just a little momentum. They really struggled just to score, obviously, here in the second quarter. But anytime you can build a little momentum against a good defense helps a lot. And right now, that momentum is favoring Loramie as they have an 11-point advantage.
Wolf tries to drive, works off a screen, loses the handle. And we go to half. Our score in the First National Meg scoreboard, the Fort Loramie Lady Redskins 20, the Minster Lady Wildcats 9. We'll step aside. We'll come back with the first half stats when we return on NKTelco Sports.
Trust us. NKTelco, a small town company with a big focus on customer service. We build business the old-fashioned way.
Trust us to be your internet provider.
Trust us to help you find the right cable package for your viewing needs.
Trust us to answer your questions any time of the day.
Trust NKTelco to be on call. Deliver and make sure your service is tailored to meet your needs.
We serve commercial and residential customers to meet their communication needs. Trust us at NKTelco.
Trust us!
At CAPT, we use hometown opportunity to make sure that when we have a position open within the facility, it gets put on the website.
We've really been excited to see how that has grown so much over the last several years.
If anyone is looking for a job, it's the best place to go.
We really want to do whatever we can to get folks that are from this community back to this area.
I would recommend any manufacturing company that they take a look at it. It's a very good benefit for companies at no cost.
Welcome back to the Grand Lake Health presentation of high school athletes on NKTelco Sports. We're at halftime. Fort Loramie leads Minster 20-9 with the first half numbers. Mr. Greg Burney.
Thanks, Dave. A lot of this game is exactly what we preached beforehand. A lot of inside paint opportunities for the Loramie Redskins. A lot of good defense both ways. Neither team shot the ball particularly well. Loramie obviously a little better than Minster with just 2 for 16 for field goal shooting. Neither very well from threes. Loramie dominated the rebounding 17-7. A lot of turnovers from Minster. And as you're going to see if you watch Minster throughout the year, a lot of those points are going to be, I think, dominated by Ivy Wolf and Janae Hoying. Wolf led all scores with 7 in the first half. And the only other scorer was Janae Hoying with 2 on the other side for Loramie. It's going to be, you're going to see, I think, a lot of the opposite. A lot of balanced scoring, a lot of people scoring. Gasson had a 3, Gephardt 2, Highcamp 3, Schultes 4, Holscher 2, Dana Rose 2, Marissa Myron 4. Just a lot of balance, a lot of depth, a lot of bodies. Minster is going to have to play really well to get back in this game the second half, because I think you're going to see Laramie's depth even dig in a little more here as the game goes on. Pressure is going to get heavier. I think I would not be shocked to see them go full court and really try to get some quick, easy opportunities to score. Minster's just going to do a better job penetrating and not. I felt like they over dribble a little bit. You know, you get a little penetration, you get a little dribble happy. They need to get a good shot, take that shot. You're not always going to get to the paint against good teams. You got to take an open shot when you have it.
So Minster with the first possession. Hoying, Mesher, Wolf, and also Lauren Mox, new starter here to start the second half. Pull up by Wolf. Mox with a follow. Rebound to Myring.
Good opportunity right there, though.
Shot by Rose, in and out.
Good opportunity by Minster. They did exactly what we just talked about. Ivy Wolf pulled up for a little jumper in the lane, just didn't hit it. Mox had a good opportunity as well. And then quickly at the other end, Dana Rose goes to the line. That last foul was on Mesher for Minster.
Dana Rose last year as a sophomore averaged about 8 points a game. First team all Shelby County League. Did a lot of point guard last year, but grew another inch. He's up to 6 foot. Shooting 2 here. That rolls off. Also joining her in the first team was Marissa Myron, whose first was Player of the Year. Kenzie Holscher was second team. Annie Gephardt and Taylor Rotterman, honorable mention last year. Missed 2, but able to get the rebound, and Redskins with another chance here.
Yeah, another opportunity by the wayside there for Minster. Had that rebound in their hands. The last thing you want to do is give a team beating you by 11 the ball, especially a team as skilled as the Redskins.
With all the players back, Fort Loramie only has 4 seniors. You would think they'd have like 7 or 8 seniors, but there's a lot of juniors that have a lot of experience as well. Myring in some trouble, double teamed, able to get it back. So they work it around, a long 2 by Rose. Long rebound goes to Mesher. Pass ahead to Hoying, and a great steal there by Gephardt. Pass to Rose, block, but a foul. And Rose will be back on the line for 2 more.
That foul's going to be against number 5, Avery Wolf. That's her second.
Not the prettiest basketball game, is what you'll see for boys and girls early in the season. Defense is almost always ahead of the offense, as Rose able to make that one. Hits both of them. The junior Rose now the lead at 13. Hoying puts up a runner, in and out. And Janae Hoying this time will go to the line for 2.
A nice little hesitation there by Hoying. Foul goes against Dana Rose, her first.
They will say that is after the shot.
Kind of an odd call there, as it looked like she was going for the runner, but regardless, Minster will trigger it in, or try to, as they struggle to get it in and finally do.
Around the perimeter, Mesher with the basketball. All the way over to Wolf. Wolf tries to drive, a stop. Hoying wide open for the tray. In and out. Mox battles for the rebound, but goes out of bounds to Fort Loramie.
Good look for Minster. Again, good closeout defense though by Fort Loramie. And Minster trying to apply a little full court pressure here.
Gasson gives it up to Rose. Gephardt, a drive to the hoop. And now will shoot 2 as she is fouled.
And something you didn't see as much from the Redskins in the first half. A tough drive to the bucket there by Gephardt. Second foul now on Elle Mesher.
Gephardt, her 4th year on varsity. She gets the first. Her and Taylor Rotterman and Marissa Myring, 4 years veterans for Fort Loramie varsity.
Number 10, Colleen Brandowy checks in for the Redskins.
Gephardt with a pair. Lead at 15, and now they'll do a little 1-2-2 full court pressure.
And this is what I talked about in the first half. Loramie does this a lot. They kind of wear you down a little bit, and then they try to put that zone defense on you to get you into some tough shots.
Long 3 is missed.
And there's one right there. And that's exactly what they do. They wear you down and then try to make you make a tough pass and then just pick up the easy turnovers, and they get another one there.
Almost a steal. Gasson able to come up with it. Dribbles through traffic. Able to keep it as Schultes will be, they call it, Fort Loramie calls a timeout, a 30-second timeout. Grand Lakes Health's presentation of high school athletics on NKTelco Sports is being brought to you by American Trim, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, Minster Bank, Clyde Gem, Precision Strip, Schwerdeman Pharmacies, New Knoxville Supply, Ferguson Construction. Our keys to the game sponsor, Keyhole Pizza. Our replay sponsor, Winners Meat. Greg and I will choose a player of the game sponsored by NKTelco. And on our first National Bank scoreboard, Fort Loramie with a 15-point lead.
Yeah, they've really just done a lot of it off the penetration here in the third quarter. All their points have come via the free throw line here in the third. And just driving to the bucket, being patient, and then hitting the free throws. And then they started to assert, like we talked about, more pressure. They're going to just keep coming in waves. They're deep. They should do that. And the scary part is they really haven't hit their offensive stride yet. When they start scoring buckets, you're not going to want to play this team later in the season when they start knocking down jumpers and getting in the offense with a regularity. And
Fort Loramie has played 9 players so far.
Yeah. And give Minster credit. They're not. Laramie's like, neither of these teams are going to see this defense each week. These are 2 of the top defenses, and they always are. They really get after it. They play hard. They're scrappy. They dig down in on the big kids, and there's a lot of quickness and speed in their guards.
Caitlin Gasson finds Rose wide open for the basket.
Great execution there by Fort Loramie. And Minster still stuck on 9. They have not scored since the first quarter and turned the ball over there.
Gephardt with the steal. Gasson's wide open. 3 in. Caitlin Gasson. Now a 20-point lead for Fort Loramie. And a timeout. Minster. Full timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be right back on NKTelco Sports.
In the Grand Lake Health System, great health care is about creating a personalized experience. We're here for you at every stage of your life, to care for you with compassion and courtesy, to support you with an honest approach that values communication and actively seeks your collaboration, to treat you in a safe, welcoming environment where quality and service always come first, to create truly grand experiences. For more, visit grandlakehealth.org/grandexperience.
Welcome back to Grand Lake Health's presentation of high school sports. Right now, Fort Loramie dominating Minster with a 20-point lead, 29-9.
Yeah, we just talked about the offense starting to get a little more rhythm. Loramie comes up with a couple turnovers, wide open jumpers, knocking them down. We talked about, this is their first game. We knew in the first half it was going to take them a little bit of time to settle in. They're definitely doing that. On the other side, Minster really struggling, really having a hard time getting the ball up the court, turning the ball over a lot just to even get a shot off. and have been on that 9 since the first quarter. So
we're coming up on at least 11 minutes that Minster has not scored. And, it's early in the season, and like you mentioned a few times, you're not going to face this defense. They put up 57 last night against Walpole. Now it's been all for Loramie as Coach Wiss calls the timeout. Mesher open. Mox getting another offensive rebound and goes out of bounds, and Minster will have another opportunity. Minster graduated 7 players, 3 starters. Courtney Pranger started 4 years. Damaris Wolf started the last 2. Jessica Falk was a starter. And then Danielle Ballhorse, Lily Pelletier, Carla Ritchie, and Courtney Eris. All those other 4 girls were a lot of the depth as well. So the only ones with any experience at all is Wolf and Hoying for Minster, and it's shown here tonight. Avery Wolf gives it up to Mox. Wolf to Ivy Wolf. 4:28. Hoying thought about it. Avery Wolf hits the tray and is fouled. So Avery Wolf breaks the drought that was about 12 minutes.
I want to say the foul was called underneath the basket. Yeah, it is called against Minster, I think, under the basket. Yeah, the foul was called on Lauren Mox under the basket, so the bucket did count. But foul after the play on Mox.
I think Coach Wiss and everybody in the Minster, they're just happy the basket went in.
Right?
They would have called that.
Call whatever you want.
It was like, oh boy. Avery Wolf with the corner tray. Fort Army back on the attack. Scholdes gives it up to Gephardt. Scholdes to the hoop. Mesher had the rebound. It's just taken away by Scholdes, and Ava is fouled.
This is an impressive play by Ava Scholdes. She missed her shot, didn't get the rebound like you said, and just turned around and just said, I'm taking this back, and ripped it right away, and then went up for the shot and got a foul.
Dana Pranger in the game, also Kenzie Holscher and Jaden Putoff.
That foul was on Lauren Mox in the last play. That was her second, so she checks out. I'm sorry, she's still in for Minster.
Putoff, or no, Scholdes too strong. Rebound Avery Wolf. Hoying with the basketball. Now Ivy Wolf. 3:42 to go, third quarter. Loramie by 17. They have dominated on this end of the court. Minster scored 9 in the first quarter, and then just to tray their last possession to the hoop. Wolf was blocked. It goes out of bounds off of Wolf. Loramie basketball.
Yeah, good defense. I believe it was by Holscher under the basket to knock that away.
Myrene checks back in for Scholdes. Minster trying to do a little bit of man full court pressure, and Holscher is called the 5-second count. It's a good job by the Minster defense.
They definitely got the foot speed to apply some pressure. The hard part is Minster, that being just not as deep and just don't have a lot of depth to put a lot of that pressure on for long periods at a time.
Wolf, 3, yes. Minster's gotten 2 threes after breaking the drought. Highcamp working against Wolf. They're trying to get some momentum back in this game. Fort Loramie trying with an answer. Highcamp gives it up to Holscher. They work it around the perimeter. Brandewie, Highcamp. Murray to Brandewie. Man-to-man defense by Minster has been their defense all night.
And you can tell
Fort Loramie work.
I was just going to say, you can tell they're tired as well. The Loramie really just being very patient, lots of room, and a nice jumper almost goes down there for Holscher. You can tell Minster's, got that 6 or 7 they've been playing, maybe even 8, as you see a group coming in. But you can tell they're tired. They've exerted some energy. Loramie looks a lot fresher. And it's just a lot of that depth we talked about. The guards, especially for Minster, they've been on the court a lot of minutes.
Plus, on top of it, they played last night as well.
Very true.
And it's rare that in girls that they play back-to-back. Usually it's a Thursday, Saturday, a Tuesday, Thursday. So on top of early in the season, that shot off the mark by Wolf. Pass ahead to Putoff. That will go into the backcourt, but Pohl comes up with a steal. Wolf spin move. All knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Minster. Good steal by Mason Pohl for Minster.
Minster definitely getting a little more offensive presentation going, but this is just what we talked about. Loramie subbing in an entire 5 squad. You know, we're over halfway through the third quarter, and as you look at the 5, every one of them been in the game. These aren't like these are new kids coming off the bench. You know, you got Schuldes, Gephardt, I think that's Gasson, Roderman, and Rose. You know, that's their second team. I mean, they have that much depth.
I'll take those 5.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pretty good team.
Exactly.
We were joking off the air. Probably the 2 of the best teams in the state in Division 4 might be practicing every night at Fort Loramie High School between.
Tons of depth.
And to find the right combination, you know, Coach Siegel will find that as the season goes on. She definitely has a lot of options. And now with a 14-point lead, Minster's hit a couple threes, but they are making the Wildcats work almost on every pass. And there's the steal, Taylor Roderman. Up ahead, Gasson. She is fouled, and Caitlin will go to the line, shoot a pair.
That foul was on number 12, Jenny Huker, her second.
Gasson with 6 points in the night. Off the mark there. Go for the second one. Loramie's been on 29 for a while as well as they hit that. Loramie had 11 points in the first quarter, 9 in the second quarter, now up to 10 here in the third. So pretty balanced. Mara Schmeezy trying to work off the screen by Prenger. Pohl. Larger to the hoop and is fouled. And Kate Larger will go to the line to shoot 2.
That foul's going to go against number 23, Taylor Roderman. That's her first.
Larger, a 5'8" junior guard, scored 6 points last night against Walpock. Played mostly JV last year. She misses the first. Last night they had Ivy Wolf with 19, Janae Hoing with 15, and then they got a lot of other scoring. Mentioned Larger with 6, Ella Mesher had 8, Dana Pranger with 4. Not able to get the shots to fall there from the free throw line. Coming up on 1 minute to go in the third quarter. All knocked out of bounds will stay with Fort Loramie. Fort Loramie 12-0 in the Shelby County League. They will play Botkins on Tuesday night. We will have that at NKTelco Sports, a young, pretty talented Botkins team. Gasson with the tray off the mark. Pohl with the rebound. Ball stolen in the backcourt by Gasson. Coach Siegel will call a timeout. Good defensive play by Gasson. Once again, Grand Lake Health's presentation of high school athletics on NKTelco Sports is brought to you by American Trim, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, Minster Bank, Ply Gym, Precision Strip, Sherwood Pharmacy, New Knoxville Supply, Ferguson Construction. Keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Our replays tonight brought to you by Winners Meats. We'll have a player game sponsored by NKTelco. And our First National Bank scoreboard, Fort Loramie with a 15-point lead.
Yeah, they really just kind of kept the same formula here so far of their second unit. Really being aggressive in the paint. Good defense there by Caitlin Gasson to give them another opportunity. And they've, like you said, kept that lead at 15. Minster, on the other hand, has gotten some better looks. Missed a couple free throws in the last possession, but have really had to work hard on every offensive possession to try to get any kind of points against this very aggressive and stingy Loramie defense.
Gephardt will trigger it. Trying to find a teammate Rotterman comes up with it. Gasson gets it back. They work it around the perimeter. Good steal by Pohl. Mason Pohl with the steal for Minster.
I'll give Minster credit. They're hanging right in there and being aggressive.
There's a foul. Larger's run over. Right now, Minster doesn't have Hoying or Wolf in the game.
The last foul was against Dana Rose, her second.
Bucher, and there's a miscommunication. Stolen, a 3-on-1. Gephardt to Schola. She almost traveled, but the basket in.
We talked about it right before the second half started about how Loramie would continue to put the pressure on and get easy buckets. It's exactly what they just did in that last possession. They just wear you out with that pressure.
Schmeezing shot blocked. Rose will throw one up at half court. We played 3 quarters of basketball here in our basketball opener. Fort Loramie 32, Minster 15. We'll be right back.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Welcome back to Grand Lakes Health presentation of basketball here on NKTelco Sports. We go through the 4th quarter. Fort Loramie in control.
It's been a good ball game here. As we talked about early on, both these teams going to have very good seasons. Loramie, I would say, has the team that's the one to beat right now. They're very deep. Not to say that Minster won't be right there at the end of the season. They've just got, as you mentioned before, a lot more new parts that they have to get to blend together with their group as the season rolls on. I fully expect to see both these teams run down the tourney trail quite a ways later in this season.
Loramie with ball. Now Macy Imwally into the game for the Redskins. Highcamp. Minster continues to make Fort Loramie work for every possession. Rose kicks it out. Highcamp. 3 is off the mark. Long rebound. Goes into the backcourt. Gasson comes up with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that wasn't over and back because it was still Loramie possession.
Yeah, I don't think anybody touched it.
Right.
I don't think anybody touched it for Minster.
Right.
If it's a rebound goes all the way, it's very odd to get a rebound to go that far, but guys in the striped shirts know more than I do, so.
I never said that.
Well, it's early in the season. There's a long pass to Pohl. Gives it up to Olegas. And I think Olegas is fouled.
Foul's going to be on number 30, Dana Rose, her 3rd.
Kyra Olegas gives it down to Wolf. Nice spin move. Wolf with the basket. Redskins back on the attack. And you see Imwally. And 4 seniors on this Fort Loramie team. Gives it up to Gasson. Backdoor cut. Rose is fouled. Dana Rose will go back to the line for 2 more.
Yeah, she's a real nice player for Fort Loramie. You know, you mentioned before she was the point guard last year, and she has a lot of those point guard attributes, but also does a nice job in the paint. You know, I think as the year rolls on, you're going to see her do a lot. I think she shoots the ball from the perimeter very well. She rebounds well, and she shoots free throws typically very well. She's had a little bit of a tough go over here tonight at the free throw line, but for the most part, really good there as well.
Gephardt and Scholas into the lineup. Holscher will check in after that made basket by Rose.
For the Redskins, number 22, Mackenzie Holscher. Congratulations also to Sam Barlowers.
So 16-point lead for the Redskins on our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank think first. Wildcats back on the attack, 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Wolf to the hoop. They draw two.
Foul was on number 42, Marissa Meyering.
Wolf will shoot two. Wolf was 4 of 4 in the first half on the free throw line. First time I think she's been back to the line. And
you jinxed her.
I jinxed her again. Good to see the announcer jinxes.
Full effect.
It's early in the season, it's already in.
You don't lose something like that.
That's right. I think I did it with some of the serving and volleyball as well. And I did it again, so it goes out of bounds to Fort Loramie. A little over 6 minutes to go here in this season opener for Fort Loramie. Second game of the season for Minster. They break the full court pressure. Goes out of bounds, but knocked away by Wolf. It will stay with Fort Loramie.
It's amazing some of the ground, excuse me, some of the ground the guards for both these teams can make up. You look like the other team's going to get a quick layup, and they quickly just recover and knock the ball away.
Rose gets a rebound again, stolen away by Wolf. Wildcats on the attack. She's triple team, turnaround, in and out. Wolf, as expected, draws a lot of attention. Not able to get that one to fall. Rose now setting the offense. Scholas to the hoop, off the glass and in. Ava Scholas.
A great option there for the Redskins. Scholas so smooth in the paint.
Kyra Olegas on the board. Nice assist by Hoying. A little mini fast break for the Wildcats. Camp now working on Wolf. Rose picks up her dribble. Gephardt to the hoop, Scholas and in. Ava Scholas back-to-back baskets for Fort Loramie.
She now has 10 for the Redskins.
Wolf to Wolf, turnaround. Not able to fall. Gephardt, Trey. Camp with the rebound, goes out of bounds. We'll have a whole bunch of substitutions. 4 for Minster, 3 for Fort Loramie. We'll just set the offense. Both teams, as they set the offense, as we have Gasson, Putoff, Gephardt and Holscher and Brandewie for Fort Loramie. We'll set Minster when they get the ball. Putoff, a long two and in. Jaden Putoff.
You start to see that offense we talked about in the first half a little bit for Loramie. Starting to loosen up a little bit, starting to knock down some jumpers. They get that lead back to 20.
Larger gives it up to Mesher. Also Mox in the ball game. That goes out of bounds. Mesher and Hoying, the other players for Minster, with 4 minutes to go in the ball game. It was 11-9 game after one. Minster went on a scoring drought for about 12 minutes, halfway through all of the second quarter, halfway through the third quarter. You can't do that against Fort Loramie. Pass in to Putoff. Back-to-back baskets for Jaden Putoff.
Jaden Putoff making a nice impact off the bench here in the fourth quarter for Fort Loramie. She now has 4.
Hoying now running the point. Mesher on the wing. Knox able to get the ball back. Larger thought about it. Gives it back all the way over. Schmeezing is open. 17-footer off the mark. Rebound on the floor. It'd be a foul against Minster. As we go to the other end, we'd like to remind you Grand Lake Health presentation of high school sports on NKTelco is being brought to you by American Trim, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, Minster Bank, Ply Gem, Precision Strip, Schreederman Pharmacies, New Knoxville Supply, Ferguson Construction. Our fine sponsors here this evening for our season opener for basketball on NKTelco Sports is Put Off, shooting the front end of the 1-and-1 and rolls it in. Put Off with 5 quick points off the bench in a matter of the last minute.
Definitely taking advantage of her opportunity here halfway through this fourth quarter.
It's a pair. Schmeezing now running the point. Huker with the basketball. Schmeezing, they pass it underneath. There's a foul. And Dana Prenger will go on the line to shoot a 1-and-1 here. So that'll be the 9th team foul on Fort Loramie.
Foul was on Jaden Put Off, her second.
Prenger, a 5'10 junior. Off the mark on that free throw. Mesher battles for the rebound, and there's another jump ball. Will stay on the Minster end. In the NKTelco Sports Van tonight, Bryce Hamrick, assisted by Ian Bollheimer. On camera, Patrick Toller. My partner tonight is Greg Burning. I'm Dave Kanapke. Glad you're joining us here tonight. Wildcats has been a struggle on offense all night, but that'll be the theme for a lot of teams against this Fort Loramie defense. And there is a foul. Fort Loramie only lost 1 regular season game last year. Probably won't lose many this year.
Yeah, I would say not.
They'll be favored in probably every ball game, and they're playing in the Classic in the Country this year. They play West Liberty Salem again. They'll play several MAC schools. And of course, all their Shelby County League foes. That free throw is missed. Holscher will kick it out, and they work it around, and that'll go out of bounds. Too hot to handle there. Fort Loramie's definitely cut down on their turnovers in the second half.
Yeah, it's not been near the aggressiveness either way. I would say Minster still had 8, so they're up to 21 for the ball game. Loramie only had 12. They had 8 at halftime, so they've only turned the ball over 4 times here in the second half.
Schmeezing gives it up to Huker. Guarded by Rotterman. In some trouble, they will call a foul on Rotterman. So Jenna Huker will shoot the 1-and-1.
Second foul on Rotterman.
They see Imwalachek back in the lineup. Off the mark, Heitkamp with the rebound. Shot by Rotterman, rebound by Larger. Schmeezing working the offense. That will go out of bounds. While we got a minute, we'd like to congratulate the New Bremen Cardinal football team on a very successful season as they're going to go down, it looks like, to Marion Local. It's being broadcast right now. I'll also congratulate the Marion Local Flyers as they will move on to the state semifinal next week. Bremen has definitely turned around their program in the last couple of years, and there's a nice follow by Holscher. It's been a good fall for New Bremen sports with the state championship in volleyball and the regional runners-up tonight.
A lot of places would take that fall, that's for sure. Yeah.
Schmeezing with the basketball. Minster scored 9 in the first quarter, none in the second quarter, 6 in the third quarter, and 4 here in the fourth quarter. Reiner to Huker. Coming up in a minute to go. To the hoop, larger, too strong. Battle on the floor, and we have another jump ball. Good crowd here tonight. Probably expected a little closer of a game. Most people figured Fort Loramie definitely be favored with everybody back. And they definitely have not disappointed. They have dominated on both ends of the court.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they're really just warming up. Both these teams are, for that matter. As this year goes on, they're going to improve quite a bit.
Check these two teams out when you get to about the middle of January. You know where they're at. And I have a feeling both of these teams are going to have a lot of W's by that point.
Yep.
Going to have to go through some tough schedules of the league. MAC should be very good all the way around this year. And there is another steal by the Fort Loramie defense. Imwale off the basket and in. Macy Imwale is in the scorebook. Last shot of the game by Schmeezing. Final score in our First National Bank scoreboard, Fort Loramie 47, Minster 19. We'll be back to wrap it up here on NKTelco Sports.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and Wapakoneta to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Welcome back to Grand Lakes Health presentation of NKTelco Sports. It's all Fort Loramie as 80 feet Minster, 47-19. With the final numbers, Mr. Greg Burney.
Thanks, Dave. As we talked about earlier in the game, a lot of defensive pressure, both teams. Loramie's obviously a little better, a lot of depth. They shot the ball a little better, 17 for 39 from the field. They led in rebounds by 11. They outdid the turnovers by 12. And they got 7 more points at the free throw line. You got those kind of numbers against a team, you're going to win by a large margin. They did. The scoring went like this. First for the visiting team, the Fort Loramie Redskins, Caitlin Gasson 7, Gephardt 4, Highcamp 3, Schultes 10, Holscher 4, Dana Rose 7, Jaden Putoff 6, Macy Imwale 2, and Marissa Meyering with 4. On the other side for the Minster Wildcats, Ivy Wolf with 12, Avery Wolf with 3, Janae Hoying with 2, Kyra Oldigus with 2 for their 19. So good start for Fort Loramie. It's exactly what we expected to see. A lot of pressure, a lot of depth, a lot of really good players. I mean, it's really hard to identify one or two because they come at you with a lot of different weapons. That might be their only weakness, you know, as far as their teams. You know, usually you have 1 or 2 people that pick up the team. It was Marissa Meyering probably last year. She was, SEL Player of the Year, and it might be again. But as of right now, they seem like they're, trying to find that. There's a ton of depth, and give Carla a lot of credit because they always come out ready to play. They play with a ton of intensity. The defense is always there. I mean, you feel like when you watch these two teams play, it's a lot of the same characteristics and qualities. They both come to play every night. They play with a ton of aggressiveness and defense. They do the things the right way, but give Loramie a lot of credit. They really came out and put on a show. On the other side, Minster, we know, has, like we talked about, 2 really good guards, and they're just going to have to figure out the rest of that. They've got some depth there in the paint, but like you said, they replaced a lot of people. They got to figure out a rotation and where to get some other points other than Janae Hoying and Ivy Wolf. They'll figure it out. They've got a very nice ball team. Loramie's going to make a lot of teams struggle this year and make a lot of teams look bad because they are very good and have a great opportunity to have a great season, not a good season.
Loramie starts off that season as 1-0 on the season. Minster now 1-1 on this season. Greg, let's talk about our player of the game, sponsored by NKTelco, making her first varsity start, first varsity start, Caitlin Gasson at point guard.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, a lot of good players on this team. Thought Gasson did a really nice job of running the point, getting the offense going. Her defense is incredible, much like a lot of players on this team, but did a very solid job leading this Fort Loramie team here tonight.
So congratulations to Caitlin Gasson, our NKTelco player of the game. Well, that'll wrap it up from here on Grand Lake Health's presentation of NKTelco Sports. For our director, Bryce Hamrick, assistant director, Ian Bolheimer, on camera, Patrick Toller, my partner, Greg Burning, I'm Dave Kanacki. Thanks for watching on NKTelco Sports.